because I only have 10 minutes, and it's just a kind of philosophy that we put in place and that we called Add Happiness, and it's starting to be very, very trending in the market, and we copyrighted it, PR&D, and it's called Prototype Research and Development. It seems very far from copywriting, but it is not. Because, you know, we asked you a question last time. What do you want to be? What are you going to be applying for? Is it concept provider? Or is it crafter? Or is it a concept provider who crafts its own work? Or is it a content provider? Or is it a community, more a social, what we call investigative creative? Are you going to do it all? Are you going to choose, etc.? So PR&D is all about concept providing. And why did we came up with this idea, Add Happiness? Because there were, and even around the meeting room with the creative directors on the meeting room, there is what is today's most used word in the advertising industry. You might be surprised or you might not be surprised, but it's business model. What is the business model? How we've got fantastic brains, the people in our agencies have fantastic brains, but we can't seem to valorize those ideas anymore in money. More and more agencies are having problems, and because it's difficult. And clients, we seem to be, where they used to pay for ideas, they now seem to become more and more commodity. They seem to find it more and more normal that you find ideas every day, 10 ideas a day, and that they don't have to pay them, and it goes quickly. I told you, yeah, I tell my clients, we only need 2 minutes to find an idea. We just don't know when those 2 minutes will occur. That's the problem. Yeah, they only take 2 minutes, but you don't have to pay 2 minutes because it takes 2 minutes to find. That's the whole discussion we have with our clients. That's why we installed That Happiness. We call it PR&D, and it's got two very big advantages: prototype research and development. What is prototype research and development? I'm not going to go into the presentation because it's too long. It's all about finding an idea and copywriting it. You have with your client, you have a deal, and you say, okay, guys, we have our contracts. Within the contracts, agencies don't have the copyrights. They give every work we do for clients, and they pay for the work. We transfer the copyrights to the client. Always, that's the deal. But sometimes you can say to the client, listen, this is a particular idea that we think is very good for your brand, for which you don't have the money to do it. We will pay the hours. We will spend all the hours for paying that idea. You pay the out-of costs. We will make sure that the out-of costs are very low, because the advantage of having a big idea is that everybody wants to do it for free. I mean, the most lousy commercials in the world are the most expensive in production because people just want to get money with that. But when you've got a great idea, you can find the most talented people around the world will be there to execute your idea because it's also in their book. You see what I mean? So the bigger your idea, the better the more people you will find around you who want to develop that idea. So I have an agreement with my client. For example, the Hilux campaign that we just made now, we will maybe only show that idea, or the talking tree that you saw last week. The talking tree, we had the copyright of the talking tree, and at a certain moment, Spectrum, so it was sold for EOS, a small magazine in Belgium. At a certain moment, Spectrum called us in Germany, and they were making a talking forest. So they have built 10 trees around the world, and I was copyrighted. I got money for every tree that was installed because that idea, it was a prototype research and development idea. So you create a prototype. There's a book also, and it means it is Lean Startup. It's a fantastic book. It says exactly the same thing, just in other words. That came out, and it's the book at Google's now. It's the startup Bible at Google's, and it says exactly the same thing. So if you have an idea, just do it. Go to your CEO and say, come on, let's prototype, research, and develop this. 1, you find the idea. 2, you prototype it. Why are we better than anyone to do that? Because 1, we're smart. We have ideas, which is incredible. There are not so many people who have ideas. It's so fucking underestimated. So 1, we have the ideas. 2, we know how to make them with an agency. We have lots of people who are undefined, perpetually mutating specimen and who have the courage to start from something that they've never done and to do it anyway. We have the people in the agency, if you're in the right agency. You have the people in the agency who want to do that and put their shoulders under there. If you have a good boss, he can invest in it to make the prototype. So that means only iOS and maybe not Android or Windows yet, or you choose on a small scale just one module and not all the modules, and you prototype them. Then it's PR&D. It's not by coincidence that it's PR&D, because then you PR them. You are storytellers. Tomorrow, I hope you're all storytellers. So you can sell your idea, you can test them, you can research it and PR it. And you can see, by throwing it on the web, does it work? We had, for example, the idea for an insurance company to have a digital key, so that you can never ever lose your key anymore. That was a typical PR&D case. 45 out of the 50 keys worked. They didn't all work because the printers are not ready yet, the scans are not fine enough to scan them. So the idea was, if there was one key in your life that you would never lose, you would go to a scanner, you would scan it, there will be a protected file. We had a server with the protected files, and whenever you lost it, you could print it in 3D and you had your key. It's called key safe. We already have now 4 demands to do that in other countries. And we kept that idea. It was for DVV, but we kept these. I said to the client, I want to do it, but this is my right and this is my copyright. Okay? So what is nice, and then when a certain moment the client says, I like it, you can develop it, or for the client, because he said, and then he will pay for it. Or you say, you don't want to develop it further? Okay, it's my copyright, I can develop it for somebody else. And that's what we call prototype research and development. Examples of that we had are Let It Ring for OVK, Ouders van Verongelukte Kinderen, that has been sold to BVV. Artist Motion, it was a prototype of something in one car. Go to the site and you will see them all. In one car, we hope to sell it for all the cars. They didn't buy it, but it's still there. We have it. So I just need somebody who go really on the street and who really sells the ideas and gets the copyright after it. You see, that's the whole principle. And what is very nice about that idea in the agency as well is sometimes you get discouraged. It's not always easy. I mean, it's tough shit. It's 99% of shit, and we are all there in that business for it. Not 99, I'm discouraging a little bit, 90% of shit. But we're all there for that 10% of work that comes out, and you say, we're really changing something in this industry. We're doing something that nobody has ever done before. And when you think of prototype research and development, it's per definition something that has never been there before, because otherwise you can't copyright it, one. And secondly, it's always technology-based. And we have not talked a lot about technology yet. You've seen some examples like IQ Font, IQ Street View. We can show Hilux here. Happiness happens to be an agency that brings idea and technology together. It's in our DNA. Not all agencies do that. It's not that you have to do it. But we believe in that because we think it's really the future to do so. We are in a technology, you just can't deny it anymore. More and more creative teams now consist of creative technologists and a concept provider or a copywriter. More and more. I don't think you have to, because I think we need to stay digital virgins and technological virgins, because when you start to think technology, you don't think ideas. But there are different philosophies to that as well. But anyway, technology is very important, and specifically for prototype research and development, because you can only prototype a technology. You can't copyright an idea. So when you start having like Talking Tree, there's a whole software behind that. You saw that the hardware talked to the software. The whole software development you can copyright, but you can't copyright the fact that the tree will start talking. So that's why it's important, if you think prototype research and development, to think mechanics, methodology that you can copyright, like the key safe, the fact that you scan it and then 3D it. It's not a 3D key that you can copyright. It's not the idea of having a 3D key that you can copyright, but it's the whole methodology to do so, that you scan it, that you have that protected server, that you then print it, that you can copyright. And the moment you did that, then it's yours. So that's why technology, in this idea of think prototype research and development, technology is going to be an intrinsic part of your idea. Nee. Je moet al een ongelooflijk idee hebben om dat te kunnen doen. Dat gaat niet. Ideeën zijn een boom die praat, dat is een gemeen goed. Dat is een gedachte die iedereen kan hebben en dat is gemeen gedachtegoed. Je kan een tv-format kan je neerzetten, Maar dat is dan weer een format. Je kan quasi geen idee copyrighten. Nee. Vandaar dat die technologie zo belangrijk is, want die kan je wel copyrighten. Die Talking Tree, heel die software daarachter, en dat gaat iemand anders niet ineens opnieuw maken. Ja, en dat is tof om zo te denken, omdat in het bureau, dat was ik aan het zeggen, dat geeft ook heel veel moed aan de creatieven als ze weten, hey, als ik morgen met zo'n idee kom, dan mag ik dat doen. Ik krijg van mijn baas de autoriteit om dat te doen. En één, het is waarschijnlijk een strafidee, het is technologisch, maar één ding, ik zeg het jullie, it's fucking hard. Want je zet iets op de markt dat nog niet gebeurd is, dus je moet echt zelf, just do it, make it happen yourself. En ga vooral niet zeggen, we zeggen veel tegen ons creatieven, ja, maar ja, dat idee is niet uitgekomen. Ja, waarom niet? Waarom heb jij dat idee niet laten uitkomen? What's the problem? Het ligt in jullie handen en reken vooral nooit, zoals in het leven. Hè. Je bent alleen. Hè. In het leven ook, hè. Je bent met heel veel, maar je bent alleen. Dat is ook zo in een bureau. En een bureau is maar zo goed, an agency is only as good as the people who are there and who fucking make it happen themselves, who are hungry, greedy, hungry. But that means day, night, not being there physically. But here it's 24 hours on. And if you're not 24 hours on, anyway, happiness don't come. I mean, I just say it here. It just doesn't work. It's not 24 hours in the agency. I don't care where you are. If you climb trees and you find ideas, go and climb trees. I don't care. But it's 24 hours on. And especially if you want to make those things happen, it's difficult. So that's what we call PR&D. And we can talk a little bit further about that if you want to today. And I have lots of examples of that. But I wanted to share that to you because go to your boss. If you have to work and you have an idea and it doesn't come out, call it PR&D. I learned about PR&D and do it. Okay? And read Lean Startup. It's a fantastic book. Yeah.
What's the name of the book?
Lean Startup, it's called. And I heard yesterday that Duval from Duval Guillaume starts this kind of agency now with research guys in a kind of cooperative. So it's very, very hot. It's very in. We presented this 2 years ago already, but now it's there. Yeah, it's really there. It's in the air. So go for it and push your boss to play with you on that. If you want to, I have the speech and all that. Next week I go to Milan to speak about that in the Italian CCB. All right? Questions about it? Ja? Ja, we kunnen die misschien straks even bekijken als je wilt. Ja. Ja, ik kan misschien, we gaan één case... Ja, voilà, ACC. ACC, die ook, dan moet ik dat erop zetten, ja. Belgium, ja. Ja, die van mij, ja, zwaar. Maar ik heb die nog niet afgegeven. Goed. Dan gaan we misschien op 5 minuutjes door de laatste case gaan die we in PR&D hebben gemaakt met onze klant en waar dat eigenlijk de deal is van wij hebben de copyright. Voor België krijgen zij het. Dus ze hebben niks van de uren, ze hebben alle productie betaald. Dat wel, want je kunt natuurlijk niet alle productie betalen. Ze hebben de productie betaald, dat is voor Toyota opnieuw. Maar de uren hebben wij geïnvesteerd. You don't want to know. The guy who did that has been a year, almost practically full-time on this project. Philippe is going to show it. It's been 2 days on air, and then it's been off air because we PR&D'd it really well, and you'll see why. But it was within the whole thing.
Let's start with the idea. The idea is that the Toyota Hilux is indestructible, and we just wanted to put it to the test. And we wanted to put all its features to the test by putting it in situation. When you usually explore a car online, you just watch a car on a white background, you can turn around, you can maybe change the color, and maybe change the wheels, and that's pretty much it. It tells you the features, but it's pretty boring in itself. We wanted to tell you the features as well, but in a more interesting way. And this is what came out of it. And this is also what's supposed to live online. So,
you have heard about the idea or not?
basically we put a purple Toyota Hilux in front of a red cafe. You can suppose what this can represent, especially when you see a football being kicked onto it. The point here is that this is making your interactive experience of just visiting what the Toyota Hilux is into something not only fun, but also relevant. You can click on all the little pluses. I will give you some more, there you go. You can have a look at some more about the safety. You can have a look some more about the warranty. You can also turn around the car by clicking around here. You can see all the angles of the car, just not on a white, boring background. Yeah, can you try? So our testing team, let's call them, is putting it to the test in different ways. You can have a look at the engine. You can have a look from the front, from the back. You can have a look at the warranty. You can have a look at the safety. And all these things are coming to life because we put it in situation. Can you click at the bottom on capacity? Okay. Yeah. Basically, the Pro League, the Football Pro League, wasn't very happy about this. But maybe. Never mind. Never mind. The Pro League wasn't very happy about this. Got people talking, that's for sure. Got people talking about the car as well and about its indestructibility, and that's for sure again. But mainly, once again, our point is not to get this off air. The point is to put it back on air and to put it where I told you where it should be, on the website, where you're checking the features of a boring car, and instead of checking those features in a boring way, you can see them in a relevant and in a relevant way and in a fun way as well. There you go. You've seen it here. You haven't seen it anywhere else, I think. But it will be back.